Neil Pennell from Land Securities, thanks very much for joining us here at the EIC Conference. Very interested to, I suppose, to get a view on what role a company like Land Securities can really play in driving forward embracing of green technologies.
Well, I think we have a number of opportunities. We obviously develop new properties, we refurbish existing properties, and we manage properties. So in all aspects of our business, we can have an impact on the energy and the resources that are used in those buildings. On sustainable development, it's key that we build buildings that are going to last into the future, meet the needs of our customers and be energy and resource efficient. And we try and lead wherever we can in terms of taking up new technologies, new design approaches, new construction activity, management that enables us to meet that requirement going forward.
And who is actually leading the way? Is it the clients? Is it the occupiers? Is it the developers? Is it local authorities? I mean, who is really driving the push towards sustainable, lower carbon development?
Well, I think initially the local authorities played a big part in that, and the planning process in the UK combined with regulation created an environment that really pointed in that direction. What I think has happened now is that business has really taken on that agenda and is driving it forward. Businesses like ourselves that want to be sustainable businesses into the future, we understand the importance of making sure that's embedded in what we do.
I sense, though, there's a certain feeling of frustration around the ability to drive some of these policies forward. Maybe a political leadership isn't really there to enable the kind of things that perhaps you'd like to see happen, that enable them to be brought forward.
I think what would certainly make it easy for us, and it was talked about in the conference today, you need to know the roadmap of where regulation and policy is going, because then you can actually set out your own forward-looking approach to ensure that you're ahead of that agenda, if you like. If the agenda keeps changing, and we've seen changes in the roadmap regulation under Part L building regulations for energy, for example, where the roadmap that was originally in place has been diverted from in a response to the economic conditions. Yeah. But everybody in the industry was gearing up to meet those improved levels on each time the new regulations come through. And if there's a change, then sometimes that it might be seen to be done in a way, hopefully to make things easier or better, however your viewpoint is, but actually it can actually knock people off course as to what they're planning to do. So it is important that policy is clear, it's signposted, and it's long term, and then business can respond.
Does it cost more?
I think that there's a perception that it does cost more, but if you look at sustainability as being really another word for efficiency, energy efficiency, resource efficiency. If you're using materials and costly services less because you're developing and designing more sustainable buildings and operating them in a more efficient and effective way, then there will be less resource consumption, which usually equates to less money. So it doesn't cost more to do good design or operate buildings in an intelligent way.
More thought. One of the issues we do hear about is perhaps developers incorporating green solutions really to make their buildings more sellable, rather than thinking about the impact of those technologies in the longer term. Is that kind of that greenwash accusation valid?
I think certainly there were areas in the past where people maybe overstated what they were doing or achieving at a point in time. But I think the ways of measuring things now provide a lot more transparency to that, and the governance within companies, certainly those that are leading the sector, is such that greenwash doesn't cut the mustard. You know, you have to live and believe in what you're doing to create the products that your customers want. And if in doing that it makes them more attractive, then that obviously, you know, the economic part of sustainability is just as important as the other aspects to do with the people and to do with the environment itself. It's all three coming together. If you can have a business that can be profitable and sustainable into the future, create improved social opportunities for people, and do it by minimising and in fact wherever possible enhancing the environment in which you work, then you've got the complete sustainable business model.
We're talking here at the EIC Annual Conference about challenges for a future government. I suppose finally, what do you really want to see a future government deliver in the environmental space?
I think if a government sets out what we need to do over a significant period of time and is able to perhaps get some of the cross-political agreement to that was talked about earlier, then business will be able to develop and deliver the solutions. You know, we have problems to do with energy generation in the UK because we don't have a long-term energy policy. I would almost advocate, you know, we took interest rate setting out of the hands of politicians to enable a longer term approach to the way that interest rates are set. We should look at energy and environmental policy in the same way, and that should be set on a long-term basis with whatever's best for the UK, whatever's best for the global response that the UK plays a great part in leading by example.
Neil Pennell, we'll see whether they take that idea up. Thanks very much for joining us here.